Hi everyone, and thank you for coming to our webinar today. My name is Madeleine, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about conflict resolution in the home and just as how it might relate to your student living with you. So the first thing I want to remind you is, take baby steps in any situation with your international student and pick your battles. Watch out for the fact that your student is going to be on a different time zone for several weeks when they first get there. And they may also want to be talking to their native country people many, many times. So have good time management, but also keep in mind who you're dealing with and the time zone that they might be in. And when you look at discipline, remember that your international student is still just a teenager. And it might be a cultural thing. Is it a cultural thing? Is there something different going on there that's based on cultural differences? Be consistent, be firm, be sensitive. Remember, you're the parent, you're the adult, so do be firm with your choices. And when I was looking at research for this quick webinar, I asked a counselor to help me kind of ask, what would you look at in conflict resolution? And do you think that conflict has a positive effect on a relationship? And it sure can. If you get through the conflict and you resolve it, it usually means that relationship's going to carry on and prosper. So that's our hope. So as we look at some conflict issues, I wanted to ask some quick questions. When you have a conflict, do you ever think that you might be disrespectful to the other person? And could you do something to change that? Do you ever think that you might make the other person feel stupid or worthless during a conflict? So could you take that out of the equation, and would that help? Do you stay calm when there's a conflict, or does it escalate easily? So could we be more like an adult in the conflict conversation and stay calm? Do you ever think that you might be judging somebody else during the conflict, and could you remove that from the conversation? Do you think I listen to your point of view, or are you jumping in too quickly? And that's an important part of conflict resolution, is really spending time just to listen to the person. Do we really get to resolve things? Are we doing a good job at resolving things? And do you think you're able to actually express a complaint or make a request without me getting upset? So those questions I want you to take a minute just to reflect on how you might be in a conflict. And how you act in a conflict. And then when it's being resolved and it's calming down, am I good at calming down and feeling closure again, or feeling close to each other? Can we do that in our conflicts? So these are some good questions to ask yourself before things come up with somebody in the house. What I do say for families is, if there's a conflict relating to maybe how your student is using the bathroom facilities, or if they're leaving a messy kitchen, I always say to the families, just demonstrate what you want, not just say it in English, but actually demonstrate it. Show them how to put things in the dishwasher, show them how you want to tidy your room, that kind of thing. And don't necessarily repeat the same phrase, but get used to paraphrasing, actually saying the same thing, but in a completely different way. So rephrasing, paraphrasing is a good thing for you to get used to. Direct speech is always good for international students staying at your house. I want you to do this. This is what needs to be done. And maybe possibly reduce the choices in the conflict. For example, if the student is not tidying their room and you're saying, you need to do this, or you need to vacuum, or you need to pick up your laundry, maybe reduce those choices and ask for one thing at a time. And if you have somebody who's staying with you who maybe does not have a good bit of English, maybe use pictures to demonstrate, or print up the instructions from the computer on the internet. Find a picture of a tidy room, or find a picture of a dishwasher if you need to do that sort of thing. And praise repeated experiences. So, if your student does do things well, be specific with your praise and recognize that they're making an effort. I think that's really important. One good phrase I really like is to say to my kids, it bothers me when, I would prefer it if. And that kind of keeps your tone neutral and allows you to get the message across without getting too irate. Remember, most of conflict resolution is just listening to the other person and being patient and really listening to what they have to say. And I do want to remind you of your conversation styles, which we've covered before, but we have a high involvement conversation style where it's okay to interrupt and talk over people, speak loudly, disagree, You don't have to really show that you're listening. That's the high involvement conversation style. If you're to think of the Italian family breakfast table, that will be it. And then we have the high considerateness conversation style, where we do pause between speakers and between ideas, and we don't interrupt and we speak softly. So there's very different conversation styles across the world, and you may be talking with somebody in your home who has a different conversation style from you. So remember that. Take your time. It could be cultural. Be firm, be consistent, be the parent, and hopefully these things will resolve. And if you have any further questions, we'll be happy to answer them for you. Please send us along an email. We're here for you. Thank you.